Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Friday, November 3rd. We've got rain and snow that continues the next week, but the current round, it's pretty quickly dying down. A lot of it has ended overnight, but we still will see a little bit of residual activity during the day. We go through a pretty good break later today into tonight. The next round will start during the day tomorrow, continue into Sunday. Then we get another little bit of a break, and another round begins Monday, and that lasts into Tuesday. So, not much of a break. We do have some moisture coming to our area. A lot of us central mountains and the eastern highlands, that's where the focus is going to be anyway. And we continue to push the fact that this is a Pacific flow. That means warmer temperatures, very limited chances of lower valley snow. We still occasionally might have to worry about valley inversions, especially if we're in between systems. And we've kind of are dealing with that this morning in the wake of the main push that came through our area. The satellite shows that main push has already shifted off to the south and to the east. We never have another batch of moisture moving through. This could feed a little bit of light shower activity. The main concern is we've already got some valley fog and low clouds in some areas, especially up and down the Snake Plain and the Magic Valley and some of the other valleys here in central and eastern Idaho. What's also maybe interesting, it may not be raining out of this cloud deck now, but with this little bit of moisture overhead moving over it, we have called that the cedar feeder, and that may produce some very light rain or some light snow and flurries depending on the temperature, particular location this morning with that coming on through. Looking at the weather risk outlook again, most of the showers today, what's left over will be over in the eastern highlands. A little bit of accumulation could be of a problem, but that system coming in later in the day tomorrow, not much of an impact. The bigger impact will be later Saturday night into Sunday, especially over the central mountains. That's where some of the high precipitation totals will be with this next round coming through. Then we go into Monday into Tuesday. That's going to focus on the mountains, and it looks like the bigger impacts with this may be in the Sawtooth and some of the surrounding mountain ranges there when looking at some of the overall rain and snowfall amounts with that. So let's go ahead and look at part of our forecast here. We will skip ahead back here to midnight tonight and what will happen with that. That's when that leading edge of the next surge comes through our area. Not much going on overnight except on the central mountains, trying to spread along the Montana divide during the morning hours tomorrow, but you'll see quickly increasing during the afternoon hours tomorrow. That first little wave will come through, then we have another wave coming through tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, and then we have some pockets of rain and snow showers Saturday night into Sunday moving through, and that trend continues into the day on Sunday, although later Sunday we'll start to see this second wave starting to really drop off across our area. So looking at some of the specifics for rain and snow today through tonight, you don't see a lot going on. Most of this is very light. Maybe we might see a tenth, maybe a little bit more in the big holes over into the Tetons. For this afternoon into tonight. Elsewhere, like we said, very light amounts expected. Snowfall there will be very light. Some decent accumulations, light to moderate accumulations if you're headed over to the Tetons for later on today, at least based on the current forecast. Temperature-wise today, we will continue to see 40s and 50s over the valleys, the highest peaks in the 30s. We're going to still try to push 60 once you get over into the Treasure Valley and the eastern Magic Valley as well, all the Magic Valley, I should say, for later on today, but most likely still staying in the 50s. Looking at temperatures for tomorrow, like I said, we'll be in between systems, so it'll allow us to cool off a little bit for tomorrow morning. Right around 20 in the Stanley, 30s for a good chunk of the area, even still in the 20s over around the INL and the Arco Desert in the southeast corner. But you can start to see where we get a little bit of gap wind, a little bit of a wind push tomorrow coming up through the Snake Plain and the Magic Valley. Will be at or above freezing, and even some low 40s along the bench areas from Pokey back down towards Oakley and over towards Twin Falls as well. With the warmer start there, moving into tomorrow, we'll see some areas pushing into the low 60s once again once you get into the lower part of the Snake Plain south through the valleys towards the Utah border, and then pushing over into the Magic and Treasure Valleys as well. This is for Saturday. And Sunday, we back it off in the afternoon. We push it up in the overnight hours with that moisture, the cloud cover, and a little bit of wind coming through Saturday night into Sunday morning. dropping it off a handful of degrees going into Sunday afternoon. So looking at the rain and snowfall amounts with this next wave coming through, most of the snow will be above 7,500 feet and pretty light. There is potential for some accumulations higher than that, about 3 inches, maybe 6 inches over on the highest elevations of the Sawtooth. Also, some of the surrounding mountains there, the Tetons, some 6-inch amounts are higher possible as well. But you don't see a lot of snow down low. You don't see a lot of rain in general over the lower elevations. The focus around Island Park, over into the Tetons and the big holes, we could see 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain or melted snow, depending on the elevation. And pretty similar over into the Sawtooth and surrounding areas. And like we said, some of the highest elevations of the Sawtooth could see over 1 inch of rain or melted snow with that particular storm as well. Going into Monday, we'll switch back to temperatures here real quick. Not seeing much of a difference Monday into Tuesday, although should say with this next wave coming through Monday night to Tuesday, it's going to try to push the snow levels down a little bit. This might be a little too strong of a push towards cold air. We're going to watch this with this storm system Monday into Tuesday. And just kind of give you some early numbers, not getting into necessarily too specific precipitation-wise. Looking at the snowfall amounts for this system going into Monday and Tuesday, you'll notice that we are looking at these. This is the probability over a 48-hour period of more than 3 inches. And you can see in the Sawtooth and surrounding areas, some areas well over a 50% chance of seeing more than 3 inches, maybe up around Sawtell Peak, also adjacent to Yellowstone and the Tetons, that small part of the big holes there, crossing over into the Tetons. We're talking about a 50% chance of higher of more than 3 inches. We'll push this up to around 5 inches for that particular period based on some of the current forecast information. You can still see some pretty high probabilities up around the Sawtell Peak area, about 30 to 40%, pushing even still 50% or higher, 50, 70% along the Wyoming border there. Very similar percentages for the Sawtooth and surrounding areas. And in fact, the highest elevations of the Sawtooth, it's likely we're going to see over 5 inches. But again, this is going to change. This is just some early numbers. I know we're going into the weekend. Some folks want to have an idea what's going on over the weekend. And when they get back from anything they're doing over the weekend, potentially for the first part of next week as well. So like we said, things have quickly wound down this morning. We still have a little bit of rain and snow. We do have some fog and low clouds around some areas as well to deal with this morning. Let's not forget that. The next round arrives going into Saturday, winding down later Sunday. Then we turn right back around and have another wave coming in Monday and lasting into Tuesday across central and eastern Idaho. So some wet weather, kind of spread out over a few days, but definitely some beneficial moisture falling in our neck of the woods. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend and stay safe out there, everyone.